Now, Java supports multithreading, where multiple parts of a program run concurrently. But Java does not support multiple inheritance of classes. So, if a class already extends another class, it cannot also extend thread. To solve this, Java provides runnable interface. Now, what is a runnable interface? Let's see. Runnable is a functional interface that only has one method, run. To create a thread using Runnable, first we have to create a class that implements Runnable. Then we have to override the run method. Then pass the Runnable object to the thread and start the thread using start method. Now let's see the code for it for better understanding. I am pasting the code directly to avoid extra time. Now you can see here class number printer implements runnable. What does this mean? Here declares a class named number printer. This implements runnable, means the number printer class promises to provide a run method that lets you handle an instance to a thread, so the thread will execute the run code. Then we have public void run. The run method is the task entry point for the thread. When a thread that wraps this runnable starts, the JVM will call this method inside the new thread. Then we have our for loop, a simple loop that initializes I to 1 and then run while I is lesser than equal to 5 and increment I with each iteration. Now, each thread executing run will execute this loop 5 times from 1 to 5. Then we have our print statement. This line prints the numbers and then we have our try and catch block. Now thread.sleep 500 pauses the current thread for 500 millisecond or 0.5 second. This makes the interleaving of output visible. Sleep throws an error, that is interrupted exception E, if the thread is interrupted while sleeping. So a try and a catch block is needed. Now let's move to our main method. Let's write number printer np is equal to new number printer. What does this mean? Here a new number printer object called np. This is the task of the runnable instance. Now np can hold state. If you pass the same np to multiple threads, they will share the state. And then we have thread t1 is equal to new thread np. This creates a new thread object called t1 and give it np as its target runnable. Then we have thread t2 is equal to new thread np. This creates second thread t2 that uses same runnable instance np. Then both threads will execute the same run code because they share the same np object. Any instance field in the np would be shared and requires synchronization if modification is done concurrently. Then we have t1.start and t2.start. This start asks the JVM to create and schedule a new native thread which will eventually invoke run on that thread. So let's save our file and run our code and let's see what's happening. And you can see numbers from 1 to 5 in the for loop got printed here. Now order may change each time depending on CPU scheduling. Now here is a question for you all. Why can't we call run directly instead of start? And which is better, extending thread or implementing runnable? Answer in the comments below. Now This was for today. Next day, we will cover thread life cycle and synchronization. So, stay tuned.